All right, good morning, good people. We are on to week 1, day 4. So 3 really good days. If you're sore, you're a little beat up, a little tired, that's okay. That's part of the process. Today, similar to what we did on day 2, we're going to focus on some flexibility, some mobility, feel-good session, prep us for our major strength day, which is tomorrow, which I'm very excited for. Obviously, I love doing that. So real quick, very similar equipment needs as we get through here. A roller, it doesn't need to be a long one, it can be half. If you don't have this, try to make it work. A block, if you have it, great. 2 bands. Again, the bands can be different thicknesses. Ideally, you have a thin one like this for some of the posture work, and the thick one. If you don't have this, you can also use a towel. Anything doesn't need to be malleable for this one, but a thin one would be great. And as always, have your Callaway golf ball kicking around because Callaway is the best. Let's go right into it. So even though we're doing mainly upper body, I love to make sure we get about 30 seconds on each foot to start the day. Just everything gets moving, feels great. Fantastic way to start the session. So this maybe doesn't need to be 30 seconds, but again, going through it, pinpoint, found it. If you have a spot that needs a little bit more TLC, pin it down. You can unload that foot or you can add weight. Find out what works for you, okay? So for working through here, we're gonna switch feet, do it again. All right? And working through. Find that spot. If you've never rolled your foot with a golf ball, you are missing out. Here we go. About 10 seconds or so. Good. All right. Grab our roller. We're going to do some of the upper body sequences now, okay? So first thing we're going to do is lie right across it. It's less so about low back. It's more kind of mid to upper. But just from this angle, we're going to roll and find segments to extend, okay? So I'm going to go arms, kind of go all the way up and down. Try to be nice and fluid in the neck. 9. And about 10 times through. Good. Now what I want you to do is kind of start midway through the back, arms across the body or on your head, whatever's easiest. This is probably easier. Just feel like you're going and extending your spine up and around the roller. Do 1 or 2, depending on where you're feeling it, and then make your way down the roller. So we're starting around your mid-back. You're slowly making your way up to basically your shoulders. Okay, that's going to be sequence 1. 2 or 3 times. Good. A little bit of extension to start the session. Next, we're going to do a lateral. Call it the Titanic position. But what I want you to focus on is we're going to try to get that whole midline. Don't go too low where there's no muscle in the ribs. We're kind of going right below the, maybe about 2 to 3 inches below the nipple line and up. Use this foot to get through and use your hand to get through. Most of you are going to find a spot in your lat that this absolutely mashes up. You just got to find it, hold it, use your breath. Again, use your breath and use your mind to think about the muscle melting around the roller like butter, okay? So I'm going to go here, spend about 30 seconds. You can go all the way up and down, but then try to find those spots that are a little bit stickier than others. Pin it down if you need to, okay? I'm using my foot, my leg, my hand to help me through this. I'm trying to be as relaxed as I can in the lat. Ooh. Good. Okay, let's switch. Now that's one a lot of you could probably spend several minutes on. Do what you need, okay? So again, just for a different angle, even though my feet are kind of locked up, I'm pushing through this leg. I'm just trying to mash up that lat. Okay, so kind of, again, a couple inches below the nipple line. Work through that whole lot, but when you find that spot, pin it down. Use your breath, try to melt around it. Make your way all the way basically to the posterior capsule of the shoulder. Keep going. And there we are. Okay, step one. So now we're right next to a couch, a bench, whatever you need to use. We're going to go back to a cat and cow. We did this on Tuesday. Couple cues. Hands never leave the neck. The neck is nice and quiet, so we're not flexing or extending it. And our elbows are in tight. And I just want you to focus on getting your elbows in nice and close. Use your breath and bring your chest to the ground. Come back up. We're going to do 12 sets or 12 reps. Every time, try to find a little bit more range, and you're really trying to move through the mid back versus the low back or from the neck. Okay, so really, a couple cues you can use is driving your elbows into the bench to help you find range. I'm trying to sit back and bring my chest to the ground. Go 4 more. Good, just hold. Use your breath. As you breathe out, find a little bit more range. That's gold, Jerry. All right, next step. Thread the needle with a roller. If you don't have a roller, you can still get the same idea. You can roll off the ground, but this is a great cue. So think of going on all fours on your knees and on your hands, body centered, and I want you to take your hand, sweep it under, and push into the roller. Keep this pressure relatively consistent and rotate. Okay, very good cue is pushing into this roller and feeling like you're finding more range, okay? Get to 12. Good. Switch sides. Again, thread the needle. Got my watch. I'm going to turn this around. Didn't think that one through. Good. So start on all fours. Core set. You're rotating through the upper body. Push into the roller. Again, don't ever catch yourself bracing. Use your breath through every single rep. And 11 and 12. Beautiful. Okay, starting to feel like butter. Lie next to the roller. Bring the leg up. Put pressure into the hand, pressure into the roller with the leg. Okay, so don't just kind of hang off. Doesn't need to be a ton, but a good 20-30%. Take a big deep breath in, and I want you to focus on rotating through the shoulders and keeping this pressure and try to open up. Okay, we're going to do 5 of these. 4 and 5. When you get to 5, hang out here. Keep that pressure in the hand. Create as much length as you can between your fingertips. Take a big deep breath in. And reach. Find range. Find range. Find range. Good, and come back. Let's go 5 more. So we're doing 10 total. But what we did is in between in the 5th rep, we used our breath and our intent to create more length between the fingertips. We'll go one more, then we'll switch sides. Beautiful. Working here. Same idea, okay? So pressure in the hand. Pressure in the hand. Pressure in the knee. Don't lose this. We're rotating through the upper body. So we'll go for 5. 5. Good. Keep this pressure intent is so important here. Big deep breath in. You breathe out. Find some range, create some length. Keep that pressure. Good, and 5 more. And 5. Beautiful. Alrighty, so we're gonna go back on all fours. We've done the cat and cow there. We're starting to feel a little bit supple. Just before we get into some more rotation, go hands and knees. Get your shoulders over your hands so you're not sitting back or you're not forward. You're nice and relaxed, and all I want you to do is think your T-spine, or this area is where you're finding range. Neck's kind of quiet. I just want you to push into your hands, do a little cat and cow. Again, with lots of intent, so it's coming through your mid and upper back, not through your neck or your lower spine. Doesn't mean those aren't going to move, but we're really trying to move that T-spine and go segment by segment. So everything's contributing, not just one or the other, but we're focusing on the T-spine. Okay, we'll go a couple more here. Beautiful. So we're going to do 2 more rotation patterns, and we're going to continue to progress. If you have a block, use it. If you need something under your knee, use it. That's fine. For my purpose, I'm going to go in a half kneeling position between the knee and the head and the shoulder. You're straight. You're not arching back. You're not rounded. And these next 2 drills, what we really want to focus on, is below the belly button is nice and quiet. It's nice and set. There's no movement. Okay. Where we're trying to move from is our T-spine. We're rotating our shoulders over, or the mid part of our body over. Okay. So dissociating our upper and our lower body, and this stays quiet. So we're not kind of shifting out here. There's no movement here. Big deep breath in and rotate. Okay. We're going to do 5 here. 4, 5. Again, hold. If you see my shoulders, they had headlights. They'd be facing here, but my lower body stays the same. You're here. Big deep breath in. Create that range. Couple breaths. And come back. I'm not moving from my hands. It's not a hand movement. I'm turning the shoulders over. I'm moving from the mid part of my body. You're going to find after this, you're really starting to find more range than you ever have. If you're an athlete, I want you to think about when is it important, or how is it important to be able to separate or dissociate your upper and lower body. Think about everything that you do, whether you're cutting through the key, or you're gazing, or you need to keep your upper body open while your lower body's pivoting. Think about it. These are important things to think about on a regular basis. Okay, so again, below the belly button is nice and quiet. You're going to go 5 rotations. Hold. Big deep breath in. And 5 more. 3, 4, and 5. Beautiful. Now from here, we're gonna do the exact same thing we just did, but from a stride position. So we're not too low. We're not about loading our legs right now, but again, below the belly button's nice and quiet. We're gonna do 5 rotations. Good balanced position, 50-50, below the belly button, not moving. And rotate. 4 and 5. Big deep breath in. And 5 more. If you like that, you can do 5 or 6 breaths. But again, below the belly button's nice and quiet, okay? Dissociative sequence, of course, learned a lot of these movement patterns from my mentor, Rick Celebrini. Core set, lower body's nice and quiet. Rotate from the shoulders, not from the hands. Pitch. Big deep breath. And come back. If you were to take a snapshot there, my chest would be almost 90 degrees to the mirror or to the window, while my lower body stayed quiet. Okay, so we've done all of our rotation patterns. Now what we're gonna do is open up the lateral line, get some band work in, get a little bit more fluid, bit of core, and then Bob is your uncle, which is a quick way of saying then we're done, okay? Now, if you have a squat rack, great. If you have a wall, great. Find something that's relatively steady. And what we're gonna do, I'm gonna use this wall, hopefully you can see me. I'm gonna sit back, let my weight kind of hang, try to open up this whole lateral line. Andrew Spina with functional range conditioning. This is modified from his work. His work is excellent. I don't want to say that we're doing, an FRC pattern because we're not going through that whole sequence, but this is through him and I appreciate his work. So again, with the theme of always giving people credit where credit is deserved. He's got great work. Check him out if you're interested. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, sit back, turn my hand over, sit back, and hang out for a quick sec, okay? If you're wearing socks and a slipper like me, you gotta be smart, okay? So what I want you to do is sit back and really try to create as much length between your hand and your hip as possible. I'm sitting back and I'm opening up. I'm bringing my armpit to the ceiling, okay? Sit back, try to be nice and relaxed. Good, and then what I want you to do is we're gonna do about 5 or 6 breaths where you breathe in and breathe out and sit back and just try to pull, create a little bit more tension. So pulling, trying to bring the wall towards you, trying to pull your hand to your armpit, but you have nowhere to go because you're at your end range, okay? And every breath you do a little bit more. Go from 50%, 60, 70, 80, 90 to 100. So probably have 5 breaths there where you're increasing tension. And then the last thing I want you to do quick breaths. While you're doing that, from where you are, I want you to try to reach this hand away, and you have nowhere to go. We're going to do that for about 10 to 20 seconds. So reach, 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 reach. And stand up. Look at that range change, just opening up that whole lateral side. Feel great. Obviously, we want to do both sides. You're not going to be able to see me in the camera, but I'm going to do the exact same thing and talk you through it. Okay, so you're going to sit back. Again, sitting back as much as you can and opening that armpit to the ceiling and try to create some length between your hand and your hip bone. You hang out there, good 20, 30 seconds. Good, so when you feel like you're at that end range, use 5 breaths. Every breath you take, try to pull your hand toward your hip or try to create a bit more contraction. Driving it forward, but don't actually go anywhere. So 1 breath is 50%, 60% all the way to like a max effort. Okay, so pulling about 50% effort without moving. 60. 70. 80. 90. When you get to 100, hang out, and then you're going to reach. So full tension and breathe out. Reach. All right. Oh, that feels great. Hands up. You see the range. It might even be better. I don't know if I can't see it, but both hands feel great. The lat feels nice and fluid. I feel amazing. So what we're going to do, again, another drill I've learned from my mentor, Rick Celebrini. I want you to imagine there's a hula hoop, or not a hula hoop, but a limbo. That's what I meant to say, a limbo stick, okay? It's about, at your nipple height. And what we're trying to do is squat and wrap ourselves around it. And what we're really focusing on is a nice full extension, rotation through the body, okay? So imaginary limbo here, squat, reach under, and wrap yourself around that. Make yourself tall, squat, pivot, rotate, extend. And I want you to take your time, do 6 aside every time, find more range, reach. Take your time. And I'll do one more. Really opening up now. Oh, great. So now we'll do 4 things with the bands. Go from there, okay? Check in with yourself real quick. How do you feel right now? Me personally, I feel very fluid up top. Very light sweat, but not really work. Just feeling like I can move, I'm loose. I was on the computer for 3 hours this morning. All that tension's gone, so I feel great. So hands together, knuckles facing up. As we do this exercise, don't shoot forward, nice and quiet neck, but create tension in the band. Now, you may not find that range, don't worry. You get here, your next time shooting forward, stop there. You're creating tension in the band, create length, and I want you to do 10 of those, okay? Very important when you're doing posture work that you don't let your neck, your traps jump in, okay? And beautiful. From here, this is, again, if you don't have a thicker band for that, you can use a towel. And this one, obviously, if you don't have it, you can use some of the TheraBands. Use something that has light resistance. This is not about loading, it's about kind of our posture muscles, okay? So, roll the shoulders, feet are together. Think of the elbows being locked into the side, or think of trying to squeeze a pencil between the inside of your elbow and your rib, and keep it there. Roll in, palms are up, and just open up, okay? 1 set, max reps. Don't get here or here. This is for you, okay? Take your time, palms up. Squeeze the elbows in. So again, real quick cue. It's not just go into it. Get set, roll your shoulders all the way through range. Glue the elbows in and drive. If you like this, do 2 sets. 8. Good. We've got shoulder external rotations. Last one with this band we're going to do is shoulder abduction. So again, same cue, getting set up, nice and quiet, roll the shoulders. You can double up the band if the band isn't strong. You can go wider, you decide, roll out, palms up, and open up. If you're getting here and it's easy, create more tension. If you can't get past here, create less tension. You got to know what to do here. When I say that, I mean you got to know what's best for you. Don't try to just follow something for the sake of it. Understand how you would modify it for yourself. There you go. Now, 2 core drills and Bob is your uncle, okay? So what we're going to do, I would prefer to have personally a more higher resistance band, but it is what it is. So what we're going to do, I'm going to do 2 feet, but you guys can do, if you have a thick band, you just go like this. But because I want to get more resistance, I'm going to go here, core set. You're between 2 panes of glass, so you're not forward. All you want to do is try to touch the outside of your knee and work back. Go for 12. Good. And switch. And 12, good. And a dead bug. So if you have this, great. If you have a short roller, you can use that as well. If you have problems with your neck and you're arching out, put something behind your neck. But otherwise, all we're going to do, instead of doing the rotation with the cycle roller, I want you to focus on using your breath, creating a lot of tension on this. So driving into it, not losing it, but using your breath for every rep. Let me go lower here. Where you're going to drive, you don't feel your hip flexor, but you feel this, you feel your core. If you feel this, get reset, really focusing on driving, not just up, but up and in, towards the elbow, and control. Breathe. Good. And again, here you're driving towards this, not just straight up where the hip flexor jacks up. Good. 2 sets of that as well. And the last one, you can go banded or not banded, but what you're going to do is hook into the hand, hook into the foot. You got your favorite meal sitting right here. Don't let the meal fall off your back so you're not twisting and turning. Kind of getting set up and drive out. So I did 10. I got the band here. If you don't have a band or it feels easy, do more. But please don't get into this pattern. Okay? There's a purpose here. You want to keep this area nice and quiet. Extend. Eight, 9, and 10. There you go. Those last 3 drills, I did it one time. You feel good. You want to get a little bit more, do 2 or 3 sets of those. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, people.